Let's call ourselves to order, meeting of the West Newbury Board of Selectmen. First thing, just so that everyone's aware, the fall town meeting will be October 23rd at 7 p.m. in the town annex. And just as an announcement and a thank you for all sorts of people that were involved, and I'll detail them in a moment, the food pantry that was started last spring for, in coordination with the Council on Aging is in the basement of this building is up and running. There's always a continuing need for donations. I'll read the letter from from Teresa from the Council on Aging related to that. As you may know, the Council on Aging recently expanded its food pantry. We've provided a moderate food pantry for our residents in the senior center, but space has prohibited us from having many items that people needed. Tim Beach came to the Council on Aging and the Friends of the West Newbury Council on Aging and suggesting updating a space in the basement for the food pantry as his Eagle Scout project. He painted and put up new shelves to store the supplies. The new area is just what we needed in order to better serve the needs of our residents. We are now able to display the items in a more orderly manner, which allows participants to see what is available. The items are maintained by expiration date and are disposed of if not supplied by that date. It is much more organized area, both for the Council on Aging to maintain and the residents to utilize. I'd like to thank Tim Beach, he was the scout, for his hard work, as well as the generous donation of funding from the Friends of the West Newbury Council on Aging. Further, I would be remiss if I did not thank all the residents who came out on the day of the food drive, as well as the West Newbury Fire Department and Police Department for holding a food drive for the opening of our pantry. The Council on Aging was overwhelmed with the generous donations that it has received on this date, and we continue to receive through other food drives. The GAR Memorial Library continues to be a huge supporter of the pantry with its numerous food drives, in addition, in coalition with their summer programs. We have partnered with the Newburyport Public Health Nurse and Nourishing the North Shore in order to offer fresh veggies during the summer and fall. And we would not have been able to expand without the participation of all residents and town departments and organizations. Thank you for your support. Teresa Woodbury. Okay. Thank you.
Actually, it's a great program. Actually, I toured it over the weekend. It seems like I toured like the food pantry.
Okay,
It's in one of the old police cells that the police department used to be in the basement for all new people. It's in one of the police the holding cells. My question that I had over this weekend, and I'm glad that you mentioned it, was when they say they dispose of it. I'd actually like to know how they're disposing of it. There are a lot of local organizations, shelters, and so forth that could use the dated material. So is there a program where they work it out of our food pantry? Because it looks like it's busting at the seams right now with donations, and there look like some dated stuff there. So did that come out of that food pantry, and then a local person or a local organization then can use it immediately at a soup kitchen, Salvation Army in Newburyport, and I know Mrs. Preble brings things every day from the food mart to a place in Haverhill, whatever. So are they just throwing it out, or are they disposing of it in a way?
Cheryl Ward is the coordinator. She can answer that question.
Sounds good.
And she should also be recognized for all the great work that she has done to put this in place, because she is the major force for it.
Okay.
This is just some preliminary stuff, but we're sure we're still working on the distribution. These are statistics to date.
Terrific. Thank you.
I just found out today.
Excellent.
Mr. Kemper, to your point, what I do is anything that's expired, You can get a list from your local food bank, from the Merrimack Valley Food Bank, the Greater Boston Food Bank, how long things are good after expiration date. So anything that's due to expire within 3 months, I have on a shelf outside of a pantry on a rolling cart. Anyone can come and take as much of that as they want.
Normally, because you use the word expire, most food companies use the term best when used by, so it's not really expired, it's just optimal taste, and just to differentiate, you might want to.
Yes, I just go by the date, whether it's used by, expired by, and
It doesn't.
It's not expired, exactly. Right. So we just separate that.
Well, it's still good, that's why.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, no, we keep it on a shelf separate from anything that isn't Best Buy, and people can take that, as much of that as they want.
Good.
That was, I mean, I was here on that Saturday when he opened it up first. I was here then, and then I said, "Oh, how's it doing?" Well, actually, I walked down the cellar, and there's tons of crutches and everything down there, almost too much. I think at this point.
Yeah.
But and then I said, "Oh, how's the food pantry doing?" And then I just was looking around. So that was the first question that came to mind. I'm glad that you were here to answer it for me.
Yep, and we've been open 3 Mondays now. We opened the first Monday after the 4th of July. So today was our 3rd day that we were open.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for your hard work.
Thank you, yes. Okay, next, the first item on the agenda is interviews with applicants for town committees. First person is Mr. Dury here.
Yes.
Can you come up?
Come on up.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, yes.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Do you know much about the Finance Committee?
I have had an opportunity over the last couple of weeks to
attend a meeting.
Yes, outside of the meeting to review the documentation on the website, to look at I carefully looked at the warrant for this year, and I think I have a fairly good understanding based on that information of what the basic responsibilities of
the one thing I always like to just make sure people know is the time commitment. They usually meet on Mondays, and they're here for a couple hours, 2 to 3, two generally, but 2 to 3. And we have 2 town meetings usually. One is the last Monday of April, and then the other one is at the end of October. So the 2 months before the fall town meeting, and maybe 3 months before the annual town meeting in April, it's pretty busy. I wouldn't say every Monday, but a lot of Mondays. Most Mondays.
February and
It's
March.
not every Monday.
No,
Right, yeah.
but February and March are
pretty intense.
That's where the written statements are prepared.
They'll probably,
That's kind of the crunch
February or
time.
March
Yes.
is virtually every Monday. And then outside of that, occasional, once or twice a month, depending on what time of year, maybe once a month in the summertime.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. That's
Okay.
perfect for me.
Yeah, just so you don't travel a lot that you can't make the meetings. That's what we're concerned basically.
Yeah, no, I work as a media and education consultant. I have a home-based office. I live up on Hilltop Circle, so I'm around almost all of the time.
And if this finance committee thing doesn't work, if we open up a radio station, you have the perfect voice.
I've been told that a couple times before.
No, terrific.
WGAK.
That's right, GAC. GAC radio. Okay.
Questions for us?
When can I start?
We have to appoint you, then you have to get
Yes.
sworn in, then you have to take your ethics test.
Yep.
Which is, the ethics thing is a mandatory thing online from the state. Just like, tells you things like, you can't take $100 from, meeting dark alleyways and stuff like that.
I think it'd be a wonderful opportunity to serve the residents of West Newbury, and I look forward to the opportunity to do
Well,
that.
you learn about all sorts of things that you would have like fire hydrants and things that you have no idea what.
It's good exposure to a lot of different areas.
Both of these, I've never served on the FinCom. These 2 gentlemen were good members of the FinCom for years.
A long time.
Yeah. No, it's a good way to learn the town too. how the money's spent, and, I mean, remember, the FinCom, it's your budget. People think it's the selectmen's budget. The budget that we vote on, at our annual town meeting, in the spring, is the FinCom's budget. I mean, with the, we help make it up and stuff like that, but it's the FinCom's budget that's presented to the taxpayers.
Okay. I'm good. So,
Okay.
yeah, the appointments are later, so,
Oh, we're not gonna appoint until later?
well, I'm just looking at the agenda.
Yeah, but let's do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
So
get,
what's
Is
the,
it Dory?
Jury.
Dory.
Okay.
what's the, term?
3 years.
Well, yeah, but
Oh.
sometimes,
Replacing somebody, or is it, this is a new position, because sometimes that matters. It is not.
it would be 2020. So I move to appoint Forbes Dury to the Finance Committee for a term ending June 30th, 2020.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Thanks for coming in.
thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate
And
it.
so you'd have to get in touch with Mike McCarron in the town. You give him a call in the town clerk's office. He's the one that you have to arrange to get sworn in, and he can actually tell you,
Okay.
and then put you in the right direction with the rest of the FinCom, so they get your information, so they can start telling you when the meetings are.
Great. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I'll be in touch with you tomorrow.
Okay.
Enjoy your evening.
Mr. Ganache, am I pronouncing it correctly?
Close enough.
Close enough, okay.
So the town's bicentennial is in February of 2019.
What's starting then?
Well, the actual date is
Oh.
Yeah.
of 2019. So we formed a committee 6 months ago. They have a few members, but we'd like to be more than 2 or 3 members. I think it'd be better with more collaboration from more people. So
I agree. My dear friends, Steve and Casey Swallow are the co-chairs of
Oh,
the
good.
committee.
Mhm.
And they asked me to apply, and I was tickled to do it. I'm getting close to retirement. I'm semi-retired now, so I work 3 days a week. But for years I've been thinking about some modest way to give back to the town. I've been here 32 years. It's my hometown now, and I just thought this was a really wonderful opportunity. And it's given that it's 2 years away, or nearly 2 years away, there's plenty of time to plan and what have you. And I like being on those sorts of committees.
Good.
It's fun work. And I just love Steve and Casey. I mean, they're 2 of my best friends.
Oh, terrific.
we have lots of committees. So after you do this for a year and a half, if you like what we're doing,
Well,
come on back and we'll
before
find
we
another
retire,
one.
So yeah.
For the next bicentennial.
Well, I don't know if I'll be around for that one.
Great.
So I move to appoint Gregory.
3 people that are applying for the bicentennial, 2 spots.
Why are there 2 spots?
But that would make it 5.
Do we have a cap?
Yeah,
No,
just so you
mean-
know.
Yep.
which is good, because we generally do that because of odd numbers for voting.
But they're not really voting.
They're not voting on anything, and I think more the merrier.
I'm on that
And there's
page.
more to be able to kind of,
So I move to appoint Gregory Garnett.
Garnett.
Okay. To the West Newbury Bicentennial Committee to a term ending June 30th, 2018.
second. It's Garnett?
Garnett.
Garnache. Thank you.
It's spelled Garnache, but it's pronounced Garnash.
Got it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you for volunteering.
Thanks for coming
Thank you.
forward. Terrific.
Let-
And the same thing applies, I don't know if you have to go to see Mike or get sworn in, and there's an ethics thing you have to take online. It
Okay.
takes probably 15 minutes to do.
So think big.
Well, I found that if you join an existing committee, you usually keep your mouth shut for the first couple of meetings and see,
Smart man.
where everything lies and who's got agendas and whatever.
Everybody has agendas.
Thank you
Thank you, sir,
Yep,
for coming in.
thank you.
Enjoy your evening.
Come in tomorrow morning?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, we'll see you then. Good night.
Ms. Gregg, is she here?
Yes, I am.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, good evening.
So you're currently on the Friends of,
Yes, I am. I'm a new
Fri-
friend
fri-
of the library.
Friends of the Library, because we have a couple of Friends groups, so.
Oh, do you? Okay,
Yes.
Friends of the
Library is one of them, yeah.
Friends of the Library, and as of September, I'll be serving as the secretary.
Oh,
of
great.
that group.
Oh, good. I saw
So,
there was a great turnout over there at the library for the eclipse today. It was
Yes.
packed.
was there an eclipse?
Sure.
I think I saw that on the news. So you said bicentennial committee, first choice, zoning, second choice. Did you had previously said open space also, or am I
I
mistaken?
did, no,
Or you
that
took
was
that off
my
the list, or-
original application for the committee volunteer positions that were open. And I initially came in, and principally came in for the bicentennial committee, partly because the Friends of the Library and the trustees were talking about the bicentennial and what we would want to do to participate in that. And it did not appear that anyone in our group at that point in time had any voice in what was happening. So that was my principal reason for coming.
Smart.
And our good friend here, Mary Winglass, had talked to me about other positions that are open in the committees, and therefore my application includes other open positions that I would consider and hope you would consider.
Well, not to like overload you, but what's your capacity?
I am retired.
Yeah.
I am retired. I have capacity. When we talked about the finance committee, knowing that it was either every Monday night, every other Monday night, I was concerned that that might be an overcommitment on my part, because my initial my initial commitment right now is for the Friends of the Library, but I have capacity to serve in other aspects as well.
So the bicentennial committee, I think they meet, or they have been meeting about once a month. I don't know if that's going to change. Open space, you said that
Yes.
they're also once a month. It says zoning, so I'm presuming you're talking about the zoning board of appeals.
Yes,
That's
I
the zoning.
believe that when we talked, that there was a position open on the zoning committee.
The zoning, it's zoning board of appeals,
Yes,
and there is
yes.
a position open.
Okay.
They meet pretty infrequently. It's when there's an
Randomly.
very
Yeah.
infrequently. It's like maybe twice a year on average,
Okay.
and it's when there's a hearing. Now you might come a couple of times for one hearing.
Do you have much zoning?
No,
experience?
actually, no, I've not. But in looking at, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to determine from the website what the requirements are for that. Although I could guess, make a good guess. I've done a lot of contract evaluation in my background as an insurance underwriter and a risk manager, to know reading bylaws, contracts, and taking that all into consideration for requests from the community for zoning.
I a long time ago actually did that for 1 year. It's a lot of kind of common sense.
No, it's important though. You need to. I mean,
Yeah, it's
these
important.
people are coming in front of you because they've been told no by somebody else. So
It's sort of like this court of last resort.
Before you go to a real court.
Yeah.
If you wanted to appeal that.
Understood.
I mean, the reason I brought that up is, I mean, we do have a need in that there's there's an open full membership on that committee, and sometimes it's a committee of 5, and sometimes they need a supermajority for an approval, which is 4.
for the zoning one you talked about.
Yeah. So I'm
I'd
just
actually like some new blood on that. I don't think have we put anybody new on that?
Bill Backrack,
Oh yeah, recently, yeah. That's true. That was last year, right?
a couple years ago. I think
He's my
Mike.
neighbor. Is there any conflict here?
Oh, 19 Donovan Drive. I just noticed that.
No.
So you know Bill.
I do.
So what do you want to do, guys?
Well, I was kind of asking her, like, what her capacity is. I mean, would you be interested in the bicentennial and the zoning, or?
For both of them? Yes, a bicentennial, I came in here principally because I want the
Yep.
library to have a voice. Although in reading the minutes of the last bicentennial committee meeting, I see that they're approaching people, but it's quickly approaching, things are happening very
2 years
quickly.
seems like a long time, but not to really plan this. And I'm glad that somebody from the library could have a voice on that committee. I think that's very important because I think the library can offer a lot through that whole process. So I would, and the zoning, I mean, why don't we, I make a
Yeah.
motion that we would appoint her
I
to.
have the capacity to do both. I give you what my skills are and let you determine how you best
I
can
mean,
utilize
the
me.
zoning might be zero. We can't say that it would, but it could be, yeah.
So I make a motion that we appoint Judith Gregg to the Bicentennial Committee and the Zoning Board.
Why don't you do the bicentennial first for a year, and then let me figure out the term on the zoning board of appeals.
Okay, Bicentennial Committee, term ending June 30th, 2018.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Okay. The zoning board of appeals is 5 members for a 5-year term, and the rotation is messed up because 5 years is 2022. We already, from today. So we already have somebody expiring in 2022. We have somebody expiring in 2021, and 2 people expiring in 2020. So I would say to get it back on rotation, maybe we should do 2019.
Sure.
Okay.
Make a motion that we appoint Judith Gregg to Zoning Board of Appeals ending June 30th, 2019.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you for volunteering.
And then the same thing, you need to talk to Mike McCarron in the town clerk's office. He has to swear you in, and then Mary will, or Mike will show you how to do the ethics, or you do that at home, and then you bring a certificate and give it to her, and then get the information so that Zoning Board of Appeals and the Bicentennial Committee know that you're on there, so you can give them your information, email address, and they can get in touch with you.
Excellent, thank you very, very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Let's see, Elizabeth Bartlett, is she here? Hi.
Uncle Liz.
Liz,
Hi, Liz.
Hi, how are you?
You doing well, and yourself?
Thank you.
Council on Aging.
Yes.
Joe, what's our, thing on that?
Joe's the he's
He
the,
gets,
he's a nuts and bolts
I
guy.
can't
I'm
keep
our
those
our
straight.
resident TA.
yeah. I'm not gonna give you what that acronym is.
That was said out of respect.
So how are you, Liz? While he's looking this up, I'm just trying to.
Are you familiar with the Council on Aging, or?
Somewhat. I was surprised when I received my very first newsletter how much the Council on Aging really does. And having just retired, and I have a mother who's 96 and in assisted living in Newbury, and I just realized how important it is to care for the elderly and do as much as you can for them.
Mm-hmm. Not even the elderly, but the people that are, retired in that.
Right, exactly.
In that, I don't want to say gap, but that when they're still living at home and they're just. I think it's very important, especially in this town, because we're so rural too.
Exactly.
Oh, this is easy. Because there are 3-year rotating terms, so 3 years is 2020, and there's nobody for 2020. So I move to appoint Elizabeth Bartlett to the Council on Aging for a term ending June 30th, 2020.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So again, you have to go see Mike
Okay.
McCarron in the town clerk's office. He'll swear you in, and then.
I did that.
Oh, look at you! And then
Teresa
this.
sent me the link.
Okay.
Is
Then I
that
was
a
going to
first?
say.
Someone did that before they got a.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Look at you.
Yeah.
I'm always being like, Mary has to stand in front of the door and say, "You're not leaving until you do this." I go, "Dinner's ready." She goes, "I don't care. You're doing it." So you've already been introduced to Teresa. I was just going to say somebody may introduce you to her just to kind of. Okay, terrific.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
You gonna read this whole thing?
What's the date on that? Conflict of interest.
There isn't. Oh, hers?
It's on the back side of yours.
Oh, it is?
Isn't it? Oh,
8:14.
What's that?
14.
Put it in this computer, so you know. Good thing we have you, Joe.
I know. I have to say, I get confused with the dates and.
Yeah.
Well, I did it out of frustration, if you want to know the truth, having done this for a few years and then just sitting here and not knowing, it just drove me nuts.
Okay, what are we doing with this?
We're voting.
Question is, do you want to adopt it as your decision?
Do we have to read it?
No?
Okay.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is the follow-up to the decision related to Mr. Hodgson's lodging house application, 15 Norino Drive. We have a 3-page document outlining the reasons for this decision. I think we could put it in the minutes. I don't know if we need to read
No.
the other members of the board feel we need to read this entire document or no?
No.
Glenn, what do you think? No?
No, what
Okay.
can we, what are we calling it?
Read the top of it.
The decision of the Board of Selectmen on the application of Colin Hodgson for a lodging house license for the property located at 15 Norino Drive.
I'd like to make a motion that we put this into our minutes, and this is our decision on why this board voted no on that application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Does one copy need to be signed?
Yes, one copy should be signed.
One of ours here? Here, well, you wanna?
Oh, signature page.
Excuse me?
Our next item is request for a one-day liquor license for the pizza, the spaghetti dinner prior to the Apple Harvest Road Race.
Hey,
Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
How are you? So, one question. I assume the answer to this is no, but this is not for the sale of alcohol, just so people can bring it there and consume it.
yes,
Is that
yeah, we're not selling it.
okay? Yeah, I'm just putting that out there. So, the other thing is that this is considered a special license by the State Alcohol Beverage Control Commission. So, I believe that special licenses may only be issued to a quote-unquote natural person. So,
Are you organic?
so
You know.
that's their word. So it cannot be.
You're not a Terminator.
It can't.
I think this is where Joe will cut you with a knife, just to make sure.
So the point that I'm trying to make though is it's not to the West Newbury PTO. It's to you. So you're the responsible party. That's the only thing I'm trying to say.
Correct.
Okay. I just wanted her to know that.
Yes. Understood.
Okay. I'm fine.
Okay. Awesome.
Sorry.
That
So-
was easy.
So I move to approve a one-day liquor license to Michelle Card for, actually it's on.
What's the date?
It's
Yeah.
a Friday.
It's,
right?
oh,
It's Friday.
September,
Saturday?
for
Saturday.
September 30th,
Yeah.
2017.
Is that correct, your date?
That's what it says on here.
Yes.
Yeah, because the
run,
first, the first 30
the
days
run
of
is on
September, 30 days of September, and
the run
the
is on
race is on
October
the
1st.
first.
Okay.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The 30th.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That was it.
Thank you very much.
So we still need to get together.
Yes. Let me know when you're
Is there a
soon.
card somewhere?
I
Archie has additional documents.
You're all set.
Okay.
Yep.
We're
Thank
gonna
you.
give it,
Yeah.
Oh,
I can pick it up right now.
you can put it on my desk, because I'm gonna meet with her, and I'm gonna be there that night anyway. Give it to her, or you can mail it to her, it doesn't matter to me.
Do you want to come out of now? Okay. Thank you.
Our next item is a disposition of a 11-foot lawnmower declared surplus. Can we make a motion to declare this surplus so that the finance director can dispose of it online
second.
in an auction? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chief Reed.
No.
Always a pleasure.
So our next item,
Can I ask him a real quick question? I got your text. Did you wanna meet, or you wanna talk on the phone?
We could talk later, I guess.
Okay, I'll call you in the morning, is that
Yeah,
okay? I just was really busy today,
It's
sorry I
okay.
didn't get back.
No, that's fine.
to more fully delineate the parking situation in the town, on-street parking, there some things have been, are fully defined, some things are in a gray area, so we're trying to basically get it organized.
Can I ask some questions?
Yes, go ahead.
So I'm just going down in order of what's on here. So Farm Lane is first. So Farm Lane has 2-hour restrictions, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday on the westerly side of the street. And it says on the eastern side of the street there's no parking.
Correct.
So that means there's no parking at all. I guess just during school hours, and then not during school hours, there's no parking on one side.
Correct. The westerly side, 7 to 3,
Right.
Monday through Friday, is 2-hour parking. The easterly side of the street, there is no parking, basically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Can we back up on this, Joe, when you said let's go down?
Yeah.
Okay, the first paragraph says, last year, a parking issue arose on farmland about where vehicles could be parked. What was that issue?
That people on the street thought that more area should be, enforced, and because either signs were never posted, or signs were posted and stolen, or signs were posted and inadvertently thrown away.
Was that the no parking signs?
Well, personally, there's some no parking signs that are missing. There's not enough on the easterly side.
Yeah, I think my understanding is the residents.
Your house.
Right, the easterly is
Going
the
down Farm
opposite
Lane,
side
the
from the
right
school.
side.
Right side is the east.
Right side, going down the lane, yeah.
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 My
West
understanding
is Groveland.
School
Yes.
side.
is over time, over the years, some residents didn't like signs on their lawns, so they just weren't there one day.
I don't know how they disappeared.
Yeah,
but
I mean, over a long period of time.
Okay, so it is what it is. So you're here because you can't find any.
There's no documentation anywhere to be found. I know a resident or a couple of residents from town spent an ungodly amount of hours trying to research it, because it's really not in one place. So Mike McCarron and I have been talking about it for quite a while, and this kind of brought it to a head. It's like, okay, let's try to clean up the language. Let's put all the no parking or fire hydrants all in simple language, and then let's put it in a book, and then let's make it so that the next time something happens, anybody can look it up.
You mean all around town, just not on Farm Lane?
Oh, I went through every place.
So you meant this book?
Yeah,
You're talking about the whole town, not just Farm Lane.
Right. The book that Mike and I have talked about quite extensively encompasses all of the selectmen's rules and regulations. Not just police, it'd be police, fire, highway,
Good.
conservation, it would be every rule, so it's, the end result will be, it will be on the website. So anybody at home can do it from home, and they don't have to go down to the bowels of the town hall and spend an ungodly amount of time trying to figure out where it is. And obviously, you know, the original copies, say tonight, someone that I or someone else was proposing a no parking area in town. After 3 meetings, you guys would either say yes or no, and if it was yes, you guys, I guess, would sign off on it. That would be the original copy. It would be given to Mary or Mike, and that original copy would be kept in a file, and then obviously the manual would be updated. So it's going to be a long-term process, but I figured since the parking issue came up, I can at least take care of that kind of stuff immediately.
Okay, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
So what is so on this particular issue, is that, I guess, the Farm Lane one. So first of all, what is the protocol of putting up no parking signs anywhere in town?
Has to be public hearing.
All
Public hearing,
There
right,
has,
yeah.
there has
Like
to
a
be,
stop sign.
not a public hearing so much as there has to be notice in the newspaper that you're gonna do this.
That we're gonna discuss it.
That you're proposing a traffic rule, okay?
So it's not a public hearing, it's just notice.
It's notice, and obviously.
Put it on the
to public.
newspaper, put it on the website, and then, you know, and then we would just.
You
no.
establish rules under it. Now,
And
the
so
thing
we're-
is that with these, we believe you've gone through that process with each one of these.
But we don't know that.
Well,
We don't,
do.
we don't
Well-
know that.
Well,
How do we know
I
that?
guess the
I-
only
I
one,
think we can,
Not this one, but I think there's 1 or 2 others I'd question.
Well, I think we find smitters and spatters, or whatever heck you wanna call it, of maybe we did it, but I don't think it's, I don't think anybody can definitively say
I think
that.
this is what we have in place right now, and this is why we want to go through this process. We've already, we have a prototype already printed, set up, that we're going to start to edit to conform to this, and then the idea is we'll have one public hearing and we'll include all this in this one book. That's why we'll do it. But for now, you know, because not only include the parking, but any traffic rules and regulations.
everything. It would
That's
include
a good idea.
It would include conservation,
Great idea.
water and sewer, all the rules that the town makes. You could actually find it in one book without spending hours. Now, Glenn, you have a perfect point. The only one that I know for a fact that's true is the Farm Lane. I haven't gone and researched.
Well, we just did the Whetstone Street.
Right.
Yeah, we
And
know that.
We know that
did
one's
it.
good, because we did it, yeah.
But
But
I
all
think,
the,
Glenn, you were around for Bachelor Street too, right?
Yes, and then, because then the neighbors came back and wanted the other side, and we said no.
Yes.
so
What
the-
about the post office
Which was
one?
actually my Farm Lane question.
How do we have authority over the post office area?
Well,
as a-
are we gonna
as a-
discuss?
No, okay, that's a good, well, let's do them in order, okay.
Farm Lane, so.
Hold on. What are we doing?
He said he wanted to discuss them.
Oh, yeah, but are we gonna discuss each individual one? So the only one we know that was done right is Whetstone, or are we gonna decide which ones were done right? Because if we don't find if they were done right,
We really have to post it.
we need to post it,
I
so it's
agree.
ridiculous to discuss everything
Well,
and waste everybody's time, because we should,
That's a good point,
we
okay.
should post it and do it properly.
Well, except, I think our assumption is that since, that at some point in time, this was done. Because this is all the areas that have been properly signed. And what this document is supposed to
Like
do.
that Moulton Street one across from the reservoir?
Yeah,
Okay, I know for a fact that if you want to talk to, you know, that's been a bone of contention in this town for a long time, that somebody just put that one up.
Same thing with River Road.
Yeah, and just put it up, so, yeah.
I mean.
So that's why I
fine.
asked about that, so if you can say definitively that the Farm Lane one, and we know Whetstone, because we just did that one, are the only ones here that we can have documentation, because
Chestnut as well. There's
Farm Lane is just not yet.
Farm Lane, Chestnut, Bachelor.
and we can change these too, right?
Anytime.
Are we, okay, there is only 2-hour parking from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., okay? And then any other time they can park there all they want on Farm Lane, is that true?
On the westerly side,
Yep, Monday through Friday.
correct.
And then on Saturday and Sunday, they can park there anytime,
It's a free-for-all.
okay? On the westerly side of the road, school
Correct.
side. The 2-hour parking will begin from the intersection of Farm Lane, okay. And if I'm correct, if I remember correctly, that was done so parents could wait there to pick up their kids.
Yes.
And so they could exit there. It wasn't supposed to be for the children to be parking their cars there because they didn't get a parking spot down below.
Well, that's what it's turned into now.
I know, but the idea was that,
So people
so that
Yeah.
a pickup could occur, yeah.
Yeah, and not have to get involved with all the buses and stuff like that. And on the eastern side of Farm Lane, there will be no parking, which will begin from the intersection of, okay. And that reasoning is because if there's somebody parking on the other side, there's no way a fire truck or public safety could get down the road.
So there needs to be one side at least.
Yep, yeah, I got that. I just want, but why is there no parking on Chestnut Street and no parking on Chestnut Hill Street?
Because, again, that was in the minutes back 17 years ago, or 16, whatever it was. Because the problem was that once you restricted Farm Lane, then everybody went
They're gonna go on Chestnut Street.
Park there all day long.
So, but why wouldn't we?
That's why that was done.
Why wouldn't we only restrict one side, but why both?
The words on the page that I read from 16 years ago, they quite describe all the reasons
Why wouldn't we only restrict one side rather than both sides?
Then they park on the other side.
Yeah, I know, but so what's wrong with them parking? I'm trying to figure out. So what's wrong with them parking on the other side?
Because the
The
neighbors.
homeowners don't like it.
Exactly.
Okay, that's it. Got it.
But if nothing gets done from history, the cars will be parked on Chestnut. Right? Right now, there's no parking in that entire development. And the reason why there's no parking is because the cars,
That's where they go.
that's where they're gonna go. That was the sole reason why there was no parking place there.
Oh, I understand.
Okay.
Because we have a major problem with parking
Yeah,
at the school. That's the problem.
that is the problem.
Oh, the kids would park down there.
That
I
is
mean,
the problem.
I think it's $100, so maybe it's more than that. I forget what my daughter was, but okay, 180
Wow. It's $180 to park there for
a year. Yeah, I thought it was two. Yeah.
really
But
different.
that's
than what I was-
that's $1 a day. Where can you park for $1 a day?
I didn't pay anything when I was in high school.
Yeah, where
Okay.
If you park for $1 a day, you can go out and smoke and drink in your car and classes and then go back. Generally, much more money than that. Okay, so what do you want us to do? You want us to make your life easier.
Well, again, it all came about April and May, about the issue. I said, well, we gotta find the wording. And then from that, Mike and I talked about it, and it's like, well, let's try to do it right at least once, get it all done and get it in a book, and then it will be easier for everybody thereafter.
So, can we put a caveat on this on Farm Lane and Chestnut Street? Because we might be having a new high school built down there.
We
We could change it.
you can change
You
it
know what I
anytime
mean?
you
So we
want.
could
So
temporarily change
what
it.
would that do, Glenn?
But I mean, just in case that the construction people or something have to park down there while we're building a new high school or
Well,
something has to be parked down there.
in the grand book that Mike and I are working on, part of the language is that I have authority to make a no parking or lift no parking anywhere in town. So that would take.
He has that authority over us, even though we have to do it?
Again, it's what it is that it's ancient law. But basically, the selectmen have the authority to make traffic rules and regulations, including some parking. There are some limitations that DOT has put in place, like you can't make a way out of town one way, like so people can't come into your town.
113, one way that way from the square, and one way that from the square. Got it.
So
Isn't that what Byfield did?
what?
Okay, but my question was,
No.
my
My
question
question
was,
is-
can he, the chief,
If you give him the authority, he can.
okay, so he can't do it unless we give him the authority.
Yes.
Got it.
That's part of the reform that we're trying to work on.
So what,
Even on Main Street, state road, state highway?
I don't think we have authority.
No.
We probably have limited authority on a state highway.
like
Even-
in front of the,
The
Post office.
Post office.
post office. Okay, so what I was trying to get at, what do you want to,
Well,
leaving here today, what are you gonna feel good about driving home, that what we did about this tonight for you? or for the town?
If we wanted to just address the around the school parking before school starts, do we feel we have that? Supposedly there was a hearing about this, but do we feel good about that or not?
There was.
Okay.
Okay, now do we feel okay, so we're gonna say yes, and this will give enough time from Gary or whomever to put the signs up. So when do you wanna schedule the meeting in September? When we get all the residents complaining about all the signs that are down there. Okay?
I take it that's a rhetorical question.
Correct. So why don't, we can take care of that tonight, but with the caveat that we work with the chief or Gary on where all these signs need to be.
I thought you were our resident negotiator.
That's fine with
You
me.
handle Whetstone Street, so.
I'll be glad to do it, but, you know what I mean? We just can't line them all up down there, and then all of a sudden everybody's gonna complain, or we just have to make, all I'm asking is that
Well,
we
but
make sure do it.
we do have the sort of median, rather than them being on their person's front lawn, we could put them on the
Other side
on the
saying,
poison ivy side of the street, yeah.
no parking on either side except this side from 7 to 3, that's a long sign.
No.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
so-
we need to look at where they should go, maybe like on like where the property boundary is, people maybe would be less.
First of all, I'm just saying I want it done right, so we don't have to do what we did before.
Right.
And have to go and take them out. And
Yeah.
I think we are the municipality, and if we do it properly, I don't want to be down there with the residents, right? And the residents going, oh, could you move that 4 inches that way and that way? I mean, I don't mind that, but then all of a sudden,
Right.
You know what I mean? It's crazy. Then in 6 months, they're still not up. But I think it's important to get them before school. I agree.
Okay.
So what should we do?
I would say that we would ask the chief to work with Gary Bill on putting up signs on Chestnut Hill Street, Chestnut Street, and the appropriate signage from Farm Lane, that's all the things that are stipulated here. And make sure it doesn't look like Route 1 when they're done with the signs. Be as, it has to be posted so he can get tickets, but then it has to be respectful to the neighborhood. Does that sound okay?
Yep.
I'm sure Gary and I could probably figure it out.
Yeah, I want to stay out of it.
Liz, do you know if there's any are there any signs on your street? Yes.
She lives on Donovan
She
Drive.
lives-
Don't you live on?
Oh.
That's Judy. She
Oh,
lives
I'm
on
sorry.
Donovan.
I'm sorry.
No signs on my street.
Oh,
lives on
okay.
Donovan Drive.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
We could tow everybody on her street, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, we can take it from farmland and put them on your street.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Okay, and so why don't we do that, and then let's get together and make sure we do the proper things here, and and make sure that we have the ability to do this stuff and get Mike about the 113.
Well, okay. So I think the ones that we're comfortable with, moving beyond Farm Lane and Chestnut Street, I think we're comfortable with Bachelor Street, that was done, because we have a memory of that. Obviously, Sullivan's Court.
And Whetstone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the name Whetstone. I meant to say Whetstone. The two that I am not comfortable with are River Road. I went and looked at all these. River Road.
I drove around today myself.
River Road is not a town sign.
Yeah.
I talked with Gary about it.
Yeah. Yes.
That's
yeah,
not.
Yes.
Take it down. I'll have Gary
Tell Gary to take it down. So I'm not and there's no reason to have no parking there. It would be somebody just put it up.
We don't need any signs about.
Is it on the?
I can't hear
Oh,
you.
never mind.
It's on the opposite side of the resident. It's on the river side.
It's on the riverside.
But there's
okay.
no reason to have it there. The riverbank is like huge there. So, and then the other one is Moulton Street. Those are the two because I see no reason that why you'd have no parking just randomly out in the middle of Moulton Street somewhere.
Well, I can tell you.
I know why.
I know
that. But just objectively looking at it,
Which
I should have prefaced that.
Yeah, we started a war out there years ago.
So Moulton's going to stay for now until the board decides differently, or?
We can't find any.
How do we vote to remove that? Just vote, or do we have to serve those?
Well, you've got a quandary here, because basically is that if it was properly enacted,
We have to properly
you
unenact it.
have to
So
properly
we'll-
unenact it, but if it was never properly enacted, you could just take it down.
I looked and looked and looked, and I couldn't find that it was ever properly done. So until somebody can bring me a piece of paper showing me that that was properly done, we can take it down.
I mean, my own feeling of it is to let the status quo stay, with the exception of Farm Lane, which we have to do some work on, and then address this all
together.
together.
Okay, so let's just have a parking meeting. We have to,
Well, it's more than that. It's gonna also be the traffic rules. It's gonna be a little bit more.
I don't say, I say we don't keep the status quo.
Okay.
I say when things are brought to us that we find that weren't done properly, it's our job to make sure it's done appropriately.
But I don't know if it was or wasn't. That's my point.
Exactly, and we've looked in the past and we couldn't find it. So somebody has to prove that we're wrong.
And hopefully what Mike and I and Mary are doing now will make it easier for whoever's sitting here
Yeah.
in 10 years.
Can I ask? Yeah, I'd like to research this because there's no parking on the easterly side of the training field side. Obviously, that's the Newbury foot side of Bailey's Lane, of the street from the intersection of Route 113 to 170 feet down Bailey's Lane in the northern.
translation, the library parking, it's on the other side from where.
Oh, I know where it is.
I mean, it makes sense.
Why?
Well,
Because you're backing up the cars.
And it's hard to make that corner.
No, that's not the library side. Easterly is
it's
the other side.
I
Yes,
know.
but you're backing up into that if you're in the library parking lot.
Oh, I see,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
I mean, I went and looked at it. I thought it made sense to me.
That kind of makes
Yeah, it does
sense.
make sense.
Yeah,
The only caveat to that is I was the one that put the amount of feet, and I was the one that put westerly or easterly to make more sense, because it was kind of a willy-nilly. I put 170 feet,
We should do it
because
properly.
I measured it from,
And,
okay,
and given that, we should just do it properly. We should just have a posted parking meeting and go over all of these.
yeah.
Okay.
I would.
Let's do that.
The fire hydrants, you don't need signs, right?
No.
That's a.
it's
That's a
not
state
about putting, it's not about putting signs, it's about, what Fire Chief and I are working on with the Eagle Scout. He has a project to do something with the fire hydrants. So at the same time he's doing the project with the fire hydrants, he's gonna paint that 10-foot red mark on the ground with the
Oh,
curves.
good.
That way someone doesn't say, well, I was actually 10.5 feet away from the fire
I always
hydrant.
thought it was 8 feet. 8 feet on either side.
Can he repaint yellow paint in front of the post office too, while he's painting?
I guess he can, but Mike and I are working with the Eagle Scout. He's doing something with there's a pole that attaches to all the fire hydrants for snow plowing.
Yep.
Yeah,
So that was the #1 priority for the Eagle Scout project. And I don't know if the Eagle Scout knows it yet, but if he's watching TV tonight, I guess he'll find out now that he'll be painting a swath of 10 feet.
what do you do where it's no curb? Well,
Probably would paint a red
A line.
It'll be taken care of. They
Okay.
have it on the grass. They never mow there.
okay,
Okay, good.
When we're doing this public hearing, you might want to talk to Dick Cushing about the one in front of the post office.
Why?
That was worked on. That was done right. I can't remember. Yeah. I think.
that wasn't that long ago,
Yeah, it was
no.
long ago.
The only thing
They
that-
were very happy to get that.
The only thing that has to be done with the post office one, there's a pole missing. The sign has to be taken off the phone pole and put on a sign at the beginning of the yellow. Because there's probably 25 feet of yellow, and then there's a sign. So the sign has to be moved back to the beginning of the yellow.
Oh, I thought it was for the sign. You could park in front of the post office.
Yeah, but there's yellow that goes in an easterly direction. There was a sign at the start of that yellow, and somehow that disappeared too. And they just took the sign and they attached it to the phone pole.
Maybe when they were doing the 113 over
Yeah.
the sidewalks.
Could have been.
Can I just ask, is there a general rule about parking for roads in town that are not on this list? Is there a general rule about parking for roads in town that are not on this list?
Like such as, there's the winter parking, there's no parking, there's no parking within 20 feet of an intersection, that's a state law.
I mean, other than state laws, no, you can park on.
Wherever you want.
Yep.
Yeah, this is really to clean up what is always
Already
been.
been there.
Yeah, there's nothing new. This is
So
just,
if you don't see a sign, you can assume that you can park.
Yes, yes.
Except for the exception that you don't.
like fire hydrants, crosswalk.
That's state law stuff.
It's 25 feet for a crosswalk, right?
No, it's
5 feet.
5 feet on either side of it.
Okay,
Good.
so I made a motion that Chief works with Gary and takes care of the chestnuts, the 2 chestnuts and the farm lane stuff, hopefully before school starts.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Chief.
And we'll put a future
Yeah.
discussion on everything else.
Okay.
Everything going well?
Excellent.
Good.
Thank you for asking.
I was just hoping you said well, but I didn't help.
Oh, Drake's Landing.
Okay, our next item, basically, we'll discuss this for informational purposes, because I don't think we can make a decision on this, because we haven't heard from the planning board. So we have there's a new delineation of possible parking for the
Did you give us?
for the
you gave us
car
that, right?
post.
Because I haven't even seen it, the new one yet.
It just came in.
Yeah, it's in the,
In the. it
Here,
had a
Glenn.
little addition.
no, I have it here, so,
Oh.
it was in that little one with the sticker on it that said new
Yeah.
stuff?
So, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I mean, personal opinion, I think the original plan is still a better plan.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Oh, cool, okay.
Mike, can you give me some understanding? Karen? Mr. Chairman, do you mind?
Go ahead.
So, we put forth, to the applicant.
Yeah.
Our desires of a parking garage. The applicant.
Parking garage?
I mean, parking lot. The applicant, then with the planning board, put that on his thing, and now that's under site plan review. Now, is it my understanding that the planning board cannot deny that? And the only way they can deny that under the site plan review is they have to give some reasons under health and safety. Is that correct?
The rule is that you can't deny site plan, you can only reasonably regulate it. So
For those reasons.
For the reasons of health and safety, or some valid reason, not just because you like one design better than the other, it's arbitrarily.
Or because of a view or something like that.
Well, the question is whether a view would be an arbitrary reason, so. But again, I mean, the idea is that you can reasonably regulate, but you can't deny the use.
I'd say,
Okay.
back to the original plan.
And I asked for something from the planning board, and they haven't given us anything, correct, Mary? This was all sent over late this afternoon, and I was
This just
emailing-
came late this afternoon.
I
Yeah.
was emailing from my phone, and I said, it would be nice if we had gotten this early so we could review it, because I assumed they were coming in. And,
That's correct. We only received an email from Leah at 2:00 this afternoon. You have a copy of that?
well, I don't have, Well, then I have something, Rick Bridges asked if this
207.
question could be posed at tonight's meeting regarding the car post. Does this still allow for grading in lieu of a retaining wall? Are we asking you, or who are we asking that question to?
Well, Rick was asking.
If I may, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, just for
What's your name?
record, just give
Melissa
it.
Robbins, I'm from the law firm of Shane Farrell. I represent Cottage Advisors LLC regarding this project known as Drake's Landing, and I could answer that question.
Yep, can you move that a little closer though, because the microphones aren't the best. Thank you.
So there's two separate issues before the planning board on September 5th, a couple others. But the two major one is about the car post parking and the other is regarding the retaining wall, which is more of a conservation issue. So we can build this design either way, regardless of the fact.
Design.
That's correct. And just to go back to that question of site plan review, and it's something that I actually spoke to Mr. McCarron about earlier today, is that if we proceed with this plan, even though a portion of...
Excuse me, I'm sorry, I don't mean to, which plan are you talking?
The plan that I
We're
hand-
thinking of two
The new,
plans.
the
Oh,
new
sure.
one,
I just don't want me to.
Yeah.
the
think
new
of
one,
plan.
okay.
Yes, so there's a new plan from today,
We'll call that number 2.
the number 2 plan that shows 12 parking spaces, which I think was this board's wish to have 12 spaces to accommodate the car posts along the roadway. And this serves two purposes. It still gives this Board of Selectmen the spaces that they're looking for, but it also pulls the spaces away from the abutters, and it takes away the lot from the rear of the building. It also gives the abutters, it also gives an easement area behind the car post building so that if the Board of Selectmen or later municipal office had to use it to get access for ADA compliance and other walkway or utilities to the back of this structure, they could do so. So I think this plan, if it moves forward, would be part of the applicant, Cottage Advisors LLC's site plan review. It would not require this Board of Selectmen or the municipality to go forward with any sort of site plan review. If the selectmen were inclined to agree to this layout, they would give the applicant support to proceed with this site plan review with this small portion of your property that you can see behind the 4 spots coming up the road as part of our site plan review, Cottage Advisors LLC.
Yeah.
Is this moving the, when we walked around the other day, is this moving the midline of the road in any direction or keeping it exactly the same?
This is
Same,
exactly
okay.
the same location, correct. So I think this balances the concerns, and I know a couple of the abutters are here this evening, and they're the abutters that are the closest to where the parking lot area was behind the structure. And the issue with putting a parking lot area there is that it would require clearing all the way to the property line, which is almost to their structural line that you can see their garage at the back corner. So when we looked at this again, we were trying to find out if there was some alternate design that could eliminate the 2 access and egress, which are dangerous from the car post today, still use the new road coming into Drake's Landing, but still accommodate 12 spaces for the future use of the structure. And I think this plan does it. And what else it does, it allows the applicant to proceed and allows the Board of Selectmen to move forward with the site plan review and proceed with these spots. So to Mr. Kemper's point, there is no concern in the future that the spots could be denied or not approved through site plan review. Although unlikely, it eliminates that concern.
That was my concern at the meeting on Thursday or Friday.
I don't know much about parking and traffic safety or anything. Would these kind of angled parking coming off the street less safe than the more distant isolated parking lot? I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
This is a low traveled way. This will not be a throughway. The only intent for this access is for the limited use of the structures that we're building as part of Drake's Landing. So the only use for these parking spaces would be for the public use or the municipal use of this car post. So the danger would be limited. This is a very low speed way. Obviously, it's at the end of the road. And we certainly will be getting the input from the fire and police department that they're satisfied that these cars can turn out and proceed safely in and out of the roadway.
Yeah, but see, that's what I mean by, I think what Joe mentioned earlier, we have no feedback on any of that. So
We will. So
no,
I
but
think
we don't.
Right.
We don't. So
Glenn, I'm sorry. I don't
Well, we don't-
understand your question.
well, we don't have any feedback if this, if this is going to be good for.
If it's safe.
We had a lot more feedback on the other one. We had 3 meetings. We had everybody here. We had feedback. We had Gary here. Gary had talked to Mike and I think Art. But this one, we don't have any feedback from the planning board on this. We don't have any feedback on our police, our DPW, or our fire. And this does look, if I had to look as a layman, if I had to look at this, if they had to deny something about safety, this would be the one that they would, in my eyes, they would deny for health and safety opposed to the other one. Because they can't deny that site plan.
Well, Mr. Chair, our intent is to vet that through now. If the Board of Selectmen is comfortable with the layout design, then we will vet it through the fire department. And also, we have a scheduled planning board meeting September 5th. What we didn't want to do is go to the planning board with this plan on September 5th with a layout and design that the Board of Selectmen wouldn't be satisfied with, because it's a waste of everybody's efforts.
Well, just the other side, we're happy with the other layout, and
Sure.
they can't deny that. And they haven't come up with any reasons for health and safety to be able to deny that under the site plan review.
Sure.
So we're happy with that one, and now, you understand what I mean by that?
Yes, and I think it's a weighing of needs here, of what we're trying to accomplish with.
I know,
Yes.
you guys are in a precarious position,
Sure.
you're in the middle. I mean, I understand that.
So,
Yeah, I mean,
so
I appreciate.
Our engineers looked at all of the traffic and safety concerns, speed, etc. We've got an email. This is going fast and furious. We've got all this information going on at traffic expert.
That's probably not a good.
No, my point
No,
is
Fast
that
and Furious probably isn't a good one.
Well, I don't know. You know, it was a good car. It was a good car show. So the point is, we've got this plan out to our traffic consultant to take a look at it. But the engineers, which is Kamen Engineering, that's been doing work within this town for a long time, looked at all of the regulations, and they believe that this conforms with all the regulations. We took the 18-foot wide road and we moved it to 20 feet wide, so we opened up the throat of the road by 2 feet. We increased the road to 24 feet in front of the parking lot. I believe it's 24 feet. My eyes are failing me, but I believe
This one still says 18.
no, it
No,
says
22.
18 in the back. Sorry, so it goes to 22 feet. So it goes 20 feet to 22 feet in front of the parking.
Oh,
areas.
so that's not, it actually is getting wide. It looks
It
like
does.
that, yeah,
Right,
okay.
So what we did for conservation purposes, if you're looking at the plan, gentlemen, if you put the plan where you're at Main Street and you're looking at the car post, okay?
Okay,
And then the left side of the road, where you have that red line, which is showing the easement area that we were looking to be able to grant the town.
We have one that's not red, just so you know.
I know the one, number 2.
So, sorry, number 2 is red.
The
This
one that I
No,
gave.
no, but the
Glenn, this one.
This one.
No, the one we originally got is not red. I just wanted to make sure you guys were looking at the right one.
So the left side that's red is the road configuration, reconfigured for the parking, but that holds the same line as the original plan with the 18-foot wide road. So what we've done is we've widened the road towards the car post side where the parking is going to be, okay?
Okay,
So that's where we pick up the extra square foot, the extra width on that road itself, right? So, we can talk about, is this plan better than another plan? I came to the board before and you said you wanted 12 spots, okay? That's what the requirement was. I want 12 spots. I want to be able to have access behind the building or at the back of the building. I want to be able to have access potentially to be able to get vehicles or cars or whatever to the back of the building. We've been able to accomplish that with carving out the area with the easement if you ever need that in the future. So really what we're trying to do is we're trying to solve the issue with conservation in the wetland fill. We haven't increased the fill at all. We're trying to get you the 12 parking spots that you asked for. We've got you the 12 parking spots. We've got a neighbor who's concerned about their privacy and viewscape, etc. And we've got a planning board that didn't want to have a big asphalt parking lot behind the building, right? So based upon these data points that we've received over time, this is the plan that we came up with. From our standpoint, I can appreciate Mr. Kemper's position, which is, we're the guys that are kind of stuck in the middle. We're saying that we want to try to provide this benefit for the town, but we can only provide that benefit for so long. It's going to get to a certain point where we need to move on. And if we have to move on, we've got another plan that will just move the road in its entirety and provide no parking for the town and not need the curb cut, right? Because we need to move on. okay? So what we heard was the following things that I just stated, that I don't wanna repeat myself. That those were the problems that we needed to solve. And based upon all the different requirements, we thought it was a win-win-win for everybody. We've got a win for an abutter where there might be some impact in the future if you need to get to the back of the building, but today there isn't one. Their viewscape really hasn't changed much. You still have your 12 parking spots, and you have the ability to add additional access to the back of the building if you need it. And I believe, based on what the planning board was saying, that they would prefer something like this because it has less of an impact to the tree lines and the viewscape. So I think we found a solution that might not be perfect for everybody, but meets everybody's requirements.
Chief Reed, do you have a copy of this?
I don't think I think it would be disingenuous.
Yeah, okay.
For Chief to comment
Okay.
on a short period of time. I would want him to look at it, and I'd want the other chief and Gary to look at it too. I wasn't being rude. I was on my phone. Is my calendar. Our next meeting is on the 5th, correct?
That's correct.
Yes, September 5th, Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Monday's a holiday.
We're actually already on the board that evening as well for a hearing on at 7:30.
Here or with you?
Here, for the planning board and conservation.
Upstairs.
Upstairs. So we could accommodate another meeting if it were earlier than 7:30.
Or after.
Excuse me?
After they meet with the planning board conservation, maybe you could come down?
Right, or, you know, if the board would like to hear from us first before we go upstairs, we can vet through all of the issues that you just discussed, meet with Gary Bill, meet with fire and police, and then come back to the selectmen prior to meeting with the planning.
We can do that. That's
Right.
That's our job. Because I'd want to talk to them myself.
Sure.
Okay, I kind of, in the interest of compromise, I just personally, I could go along with this if it's vetted in terms of its safety and, you know, Gary Bill feels he can plow it and everything else. I could go along with this.
Let's do our homework and
Get her input.
and then it's what we want on September 5th. And then it is what it is with them at that point. So they can move on if they need to, or we have a plan.
Sounds fine.
I know that I appreciate, you know, no good deed goes unpunished, and you're trying to do something good, and like you're getting pulled in 17 different directions. Yeah.
Well, I just wish this was all, I mean, everybody, since we bought the car post, not bought it, well, for $1. We bought it for $1, right?
No, we use a gift.
Oh, it was a gift. It was always proposed that there was a parking garage behind the car post. I keep on saying garage. I have that Newburyport garage in my head. I just read a story about it in there.
Sounds better.
But there has always been a parking spots, a parking lot, you want to call it, behind the car post. This isn't something new that just popped up. You know, this has been being discussed. It was discussed at town meeting. It was discussed. Now, I want to know why the planning board has changed their mind. Because if I'm not mistaken, Hawthorne, the people that tried to develop this before you, gave the same proposal to the Board of Selectmen about a parking garage in the back, and that was acceptable. I mean, a parking lot in the back, and that was acceptable. So all of a sudden, they have a twist of fate, because that's in my mind. This isn't something new. This has been going on for 5, 6, 7 years, that the parking was always going to be in the back. And we were convinced that was the best place for it, for safety, for everything, for egress and everything like that. Hawthorne was the one who started this. Was going to do the same thing you were going to do, and the parking was going to be in the back, and that was acceptable to them.
Okay, so let's do our due diligence.
Okay.
Could I just ask this, the discussion item, though, we continue to the first hearing item on the Board of Selectmen's agenda that night at 7, so that we can have an understanding prior to going into the planning board meeting of what the...
I don't think you're going to get that from me, because planning board members are telling me, a couple of planning board members told me, saying, why are you guys even looking at this before we even looked at it?
Right.
You're doing the same mistake you guys did the last time. When we thought we had a deal, it was perfect, you guys go on your own, awesome, terrific, everybody's gonna be happy, you're gonna start building.
Well, we understand that we need the planning board's approval. We would just like to understand the board of selectmen's position before we go into our planning.
Ultimately, we look at you guys, gentlemen, as the client, right?
Mhm.
So you gotta make sure you meet the client's expectation before you go out and get the deal done, right?
So, yeah,
we wanna know, are we meeting your requirements?
I mean, it makes
Are you
sense.
Satisfied, and if you're not,
Which
then why go
makes
talk to the
sense.
planning board about it? Because you're
Seeing
ultimately
us
not
first?
happy
Yeah.
with what we presented.
Well, the planning board can't deny you that.
Well, I don't know about that, I mean, because you got site plan review, but you've got special permit, and there's all sorts of funny things that we can do.
Well, you've already been granted the special permit. The only thing they're doing now is shrubbery, explain it to them, Mike.
No,
They have plenty of explanation. They know exactly where they stand.
Yeah, okay. I mean, they can't deny this site plan review with the parking lot out back unless they come up with, which I've asked them for. I've asked them in writing for the reasonings, and they haven't done that. I mean, if I saw a compelling reasoning from them, we could discuss that.
I think what Chip maybe was saying, I don't know, not to put words, they could create there could be other issues outside of the parking lot. I think that's what you're saying.
I would hope not. But.
Well, if push came to shove, the alternative doesn't work for anyone. I mean, we don't want to withdraw our mitigation or, this opportunity to help the town, and we'd like to proceed with something here. So I think this is
I would agree with that, and you don't want to get any closer to those wetlands
right.
and have to have a new curb cut and not get us involved, because you're gonna have a disastrous situation with Concom more than you already have. We talk to other boards, we know exactly our position, we know your position. You don't wanna get any closer to those wetlands, and we want parking. And hopefully we can work all this out.
Okay, sounds good.
So I kind of, I would say that we try to accommodate you before seeing the planning board.
So you're the chairperson, so.
You make the agenda?
So you put it on the agenda, so it would be at 7 o'clock. So it'd be nice to tell them now, so they
Yeah.
have a good understanding.
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Okay, thanks.
We'll send you an electronic copy as well so that you can
Okay.
see
Thank
all
you.
the sides. Yes. Thank you very much.
Just for my own benefit, the one you gave me, I found the one that Mary put in my packet
Mm-hmm.
that we got from Leah. Those are just the same thing, other than just being red, right?
Right.
Okay.
I think.
That's because I was looking at this one when Chip was telling me to do it this way. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
they're the same thing.
Yes, they just highlighted the
Yeah.
outline. Yeah, you can tell.
No, that's fine. I just want to make sure I'm looking at it. Thank you.
Okay, our next item, we discussed how we were going to be a little more organized in terms of dealing with temporary signs on town land and the right of way. And basically, what we'd like to do is invite people that we think would be most affected by a discussion on this, the Christmas tree farms and real estate companies. I don't know if either of you two have any other people that maybe we should invite, but we'd like to invite them to our meeting on September 18th to just sort of nail it down in terms of how long said signs could go up, where they could go up, and we'd like to limit the number of signs that are going up, but at the same time not compromise town businesses. So that's where we stand. So we have a letter that we would like to send out to them. Go ahead.
So just can I make a suggestion? I mean, what we're talking, you just said it. We're talking about temporary signs on town property. So
Correct.
My only suggestion with this is it's like buried in the middle of the second paragraph versus like kind of out front. I mean, if you don't read this very carefully, you could miss that.
Okay.
So I would just maybe.
And you need to define town properties as being town properties and right-of-ways. People don't understand. They think, well, it's not town property, I put it on the side of the road.
Right, well, it does say that, consists of right-of-ways along public street, traffic island, telephone poles, and traffic signs. But just, that's like the most important thing here. It's like, that's what we're talking about.
We buried the lead.
Lead with that.
Okay.
That's my only input.
So anybody else that
And-
we should
Well, so
include.
One thing
Not
I
a
was,
list of
I had some questions on this. Anybody with a 61A, right? 61A, the farm,
Yeah.
theoretically could put up, they're agricultural, they could put up a sign. So I don't think we have half these Christmas tree farms, and those are the big ones on this list.
The question's always putting up signs on public ways.
On town land.
On town land.
On
Nobody has a
town
right to put anything on town land.
Okay. Maybe I'm speaking like I was speaking earlier about kept on saying garage. I understand that. We have a list here, and I think in parts of Archie, when he said, is there anybody else you think we should notify or something like that? I think that's what he said.
Yeah.
And then now I'm moved on. Joe made a good suggestion about the letter that we want to send out. So we've moved on for the letter. Now we're having a discussion about who we think we should notify. So I was just clarifying that anybody with 61A is considered agriculture and could put out a sign on their own land, of course. And I'm just foreseeing a problem. We have a lot of Christmas tree signs, right, that get put out on right-of-ways in town-owned land during the holidays. That happens. We have to understand that happens. It happens. It's going to happen again this year. Okay? So I just want to make sure those people have a voice, or we're thinking of that when we're having the discussion. And it seems like we've got all the real estate people.
So are there any farms that we haven't included?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different Christmas tree farms that we.
Like who?
I'll come up with them, but yeah, there's a lot of them.
I can't name one.
I mean, add as many people to the list.
Well,
as
we
you
just
want.
have to make sure that we're cognizant of that. Because I've been driving around town too with the signs and stuff.
Yeah.
I took a lot of time today driving around, watching that eclipse at different spots of the town. But I've already come up with what I want to do with signs, especially the real estate ones.
Oh, me too.
Go do what Newbury Port's doing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
None of these directional
So,
signs.
okay, but back to the list. So,
Yeah.
like,
So I'll add on. When are we sending it out? We're going to do this
Tomorrow.
Okay, we're going to do this on September 5th,
No.
No.
18.
18.
the 18th. Okay, so we're going to send it out tomorrow.
Yep.
Naps, Artichoke Dairy, Long Hill Orchard, Maple Crest, Crane Neck, Whitegate, Evergreen Farm. Okay, if you don't hear from me, I haven't come up with any more. I just see a lot more signs than this during Christmas time. Because Long Hill's not that. Maple Crest, their Christmas, Crane Neck Christmas Farms, yes, Whitegate, Evergreen. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 Christmas tree farms on here, and I know
There's more than that.
Yeah,
There's
I know
definitely.
there's more. We only
yeah.
have 4 on here. I know there's more, but it's going to apply. I just want everybody to be here. I just want to get this done. So
Okay.
that's all.
If you have a name, give it to Mary.
I know the problem is I know there's more, but I have to wait for Christmas to see the signs go up.
It's too late.
Hold on. You need to talk into the microphone. And you have to be recognized by the chairman.
Oh, she said she's got to ask a question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go
Can I
ahead.
ask a question about signs? I know you've talked about business interests with Christmas tree farms and everything. The library has talked about approaching you with a sign for a banner to go on the library property within a certain amount of time before our book sales.
I'm going to give you
and
the
other
answer
events.
to that. That the Board of Selectmen and no other organization other than the Board of Library Trustees has you have all authority to put any
The
sign.
trustees, she's on the Friends.
Yeah, the trustees. The library has all control over the library building and the grounds. So they're the ones that get to do it. They don't have to come to the Board of Selectmen.
Perfect.
The library
Thank you.
trustees.
Thank you, gentlemen.
But you still do have to fall within the town's sign bylaw.
Very good.
So I tell them to suggest to them to read the bylaw.
Yeah, they need to read the sign bylaw, and they're the ones that are in charge. We've looked at this up recently.
They run the library.
They run the library building
Sacred
and the
ground.
grounds.
Okay,
If they want to put it somewhere else, then they would have to come to us.
excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Like the training.
Or the old town hall.
Or the old town hall, right.
Yeah, they can't be.
Then that's us.
Yeah, they can't be putting signs up over there, that book sale
Understood.
without
Okay.
asking us.
Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. Okay. So we good?
If I probably won't. I'm gonna ask around some old timers. I know there's 4 more.
I know there's more, we're just not,
Yeah.
yeah.
And if you don't hear from me, you don't hear from me. Just don't wait for me. Send it out.
Well, I need to read you the letter
Mm-hmm.
to kind of bring that up.
That's true.
So, and then are you guys gonna come and sign or?
That or just, sincerely the Board of
Just
Selectmen.
send it.
Yeah, we don't need to sign it, just the Board of
Send it
Selectmen.
On behalf of the board of selectmen.
On the
by
board of
you.
on behalf of the Board of Selectmen.
Yeah, that,
Things like this, do that, than waiting for us to sign something. So then you can get it out and then work on the next thing.
okay, what's up next?
Marijuana.
Pot.
Well, are you here for warrant articles? Why don't we, since,
Well, I think this is a warrant article.
okay, but she's been sitting here, so why don't we just take it out of turn so she can go home?
But that's what we're doing.
Okay, so we're gonna smoke pot and we're gonna, do the warrant articles. We got, hopefully, you brought enough money.
So we talked last time about the moratorium potential and then having a vote by the voters, and the moratorium, most towns are through December 30th, 2018.
That's,
Well, how long can it be? Let me just ask
well,
that.
it has to be for a limited period of time, but the Attorney General has approved moratorium bylaws for the marijuana moratorium bylaws through December 31st, 2018.
For other.
So a year from this December. Got it.
So that would give us, in theory, 2 elections, the town election and then the November election.
Well,
But-
that's our only choice.
Right, but I kind of stick with the town election because the other ones kind of get close to that date. For a vote.
Well, in order to have the definitive, say we decide we want to have a no marijuana anything, it has to be at a town, it has to be at a town
I understand that.
election,
Well,
so
that's what
we
I'm talking
won't,
about.
But the only thing we can do, right, at this point, or the thing that we want to do, is put a moratorium on it,
That's the step
Right.
1, yes.
step 1.
Yep.
And let's do it for the longest period of time, which is the 31st, 2018.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just talking about the process, that it's a 2-step process, that's all.
Because we might find out,
but
we
it,
might find out in that moratorium that we might want it,
But we might
or
Right.
we might not want it. So that's what the moratorium is about.
have time to review it, yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm fine with what Mike wrote.
Okay.
so am I.
So
Hold on, let me look at it. I don't want the 2-step process in there.
it's not in here. This is just a moratorium.
This is just the moratorium.
I just didn't want to confuse people, that's it.
So
Okay.
I move to adopt a temporary to approve a warrant article for a temporary moratorium as described in the proposed zoning amendment.
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So now this has to go to the planning board to be voted, to have a public hearing for a
Yes.
zoning bylaw.
Yes.
So that's the next step. And
Yeah, that,
can you communicate that to Leah? Okay, good. Thank you.
I can pass it along to FinCom as well.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah, I
we
was just
vote-
gonna say, you might wanna tell the planning, that was my thing, that they need to have this public hearing as soon as possible.
well, they know.
We did, we talked to
They already
them.
know.
Can they have it on their September 5th meeting?
No.
No, because they have to post a,
Probably
They
has
have
to
to
go,
Days is
has to
it?
go
They
in
have
the
to have
paper.
a
Yes.
public
Stuff.
hearing, so they'll put in the paper,
Well, it has to be 14 days, business days, or Saturdays and Sunday, I always forget. Saturdays and Sundays count?
regular days, no, regular calendar days. They have to post in the paper 14 days before the
but
public
don't they
hearing.
have to vote to do that, and they're not meeting until September 5th?
Exactly. Exactly. So it's not
That's
like-
it. I was gonna say, yeah, they can do it tomorrow, but they have to vote to do it. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, next, Joe?
Okay, next, no particular order, we have a article request related to the library materials revolving fund. I'm not sure I understand this one.
Well, it's just to authorize a revolving.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
Thank
what Susan Babb is trying to do is to create a revolving fund to basically take money that they get in from fines for lost books, because they have a new computer system that they have in, and basically create a revolving fund so that the money that's collected can then be spent for replacement of those books and materials. And it would be a revolving fund, just like the police chief car and the like.
When you
Well,
do
I'm
this,
just curious, why is it's talking about credit cards, though? That's what I
Because
don't.
that basically is that under the new system, they can take credit cards in order to pay those
for the
fines.
Oh, okay, oh, okay.
Oh,
I
allows
thought they
for
didn't
credit
charge
card.
fines.
Excuse me?
I thought they didn't charge fines.
No, but this is
No, they
like,
don't
this
charge
is
late
like if
fees.
you eat the book or something like that.
Why would you say that to the fat guy in the room? Why couldn't you say like Boston?
I was picturing
we're-
a dog, the dog ate
We're
my
at a very
book.
sensitive point in this
Okay.
country.
Okay, I move to approve the warrant article request from the library for library materials revolving fund.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next.
We have a request for a prior year expenditure of $1,471 related to town ballot printing. Is that right?
It was, yeah, from LHS. For some reason, I don't know, it never got paid, so.
So I move to approve the special article request in the amount of $1,471.78 from the town clerk for
Second.
All in
outstanding
favor?
prior year bill.
Aye.
Aye.
We want to, the Board of Selectmen would like to create, to amend the zoning bylaw, Section 10, Groundwater Protection Overlay District, to incorporate 2 additional areas that were not on it before. These would be on Dole Place and where the existing well field is, incorporating an additional area next to the well field that the brothers donated our access to.
So this is protecting Zone 1 and Zone 2 as defined by the DEP.
Correct.
So I move to approve warrant article for a groundwater, amend the zoning bylaw, as you just said.
Second. Discussion. Who's gonna get all the backup materials, so when this leaves us, when the FinCom looks at it, they'll know what we're talking about? We talked about it earlier in a brief discussion about maps and so forth and so on.
Is this wording appropriate for the article?
Mary and I will work on getting it. I can get the maps.
Can Mike
And
get
then you
you?
can work on the
Mike-
warrant.
Mike Gutti is
Mike Gutti
Mike
will-
Gutti is getting the map.
Right, he
Okay.
was getting the delineation maps, which
Okay.
So if you could check with him tomorrow that we need it so they can get onto the FinCom, and are you gonna make sure the wording is correct
Yeah,
for this?
I'll do that.
Thank you.
I mean, actually, is again,
What?
this is just a request, so, I mean,
Goes
not
to
until
the
you get the
planning board.
warrant article, but, you know.
Okay.
But you want to get to the planning board too, because of the zoning change, and it's
Yep.
gonna be on their public hearing.
They should do both
Yes.
at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So it's been moved and seconded?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next one is a warrant article from the Board of Selectmen to authorize the expenditure of free cash money to fund the approximately 6 months' salary and benefits for the new position of town manager.
Do you have this?
You
Glenn?
have this?
Do you have this?
I have this.
Okay, same thing, the box at the top.
Yeah.
The 2 boxes at the bottom don't mean anything. So that's taking the top end of the salary range, which is
Yeah.
155, 6 months is
Yeah.
77,500, and it adds to it the Medicare costs and the health insurance costs for 6 months if the person is on the maximum family plan. So that's the maximum.
At 65%.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So, and then on the right, you have, it takes away or subtracts out, because we won't be paying the finance director health insurance costs, and it adds the cost of his unemployment cost,
So we're looking at,
$111,000. I mean, we don't know, I mean.
I understand, but it can't be any more than that. It could, but what we're gonna advertise, this is the highest end.
This is, yeah, this covers us at 155.
Okay, so, and then we have some other auxiliary costs. We want to put that in there too, or is that going to be a different warrant article?
Like meeting
Well,
costs.
in other words, at
Training,
like attending conferences or whatever, yeah.
Bond, new computer, we're going to put all that in together? Or we're going to have that as a different article?
We probably should make one article, I would think. Would you?
So I would say,
Is there a
Well, they
reason
might
why?
be able to cover it in their budget. I just wanted to make sure that.
no, I understand. Whatever's not used too, I mean, this
It's
is a
free
guessing
cash.
game.
I
It's gonna
think
go
that-
right-
that
it's
we-
free cash, and it just won't be taken out of free
I
cash.
think we
if it's not
just
used.
probably should be,
150.
we should throw in this
One
too.
Maybe salary and expenses relating to.
Salaries and expenses related to, and make it $150,000.
I mean, it's just gonna drop back to free cash.
Well, it's never gonna come out of free cash, because it's coming from free cash.
Right, right.
Is it okay? And that gives us some flexibility.
Yep, that's fine.
Is that all right with you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
150?
150 for salary and
Salary and expenses. So I'll amend, I move to approve or amend what I said, warrant article funding town manager salary, 6-month salary and expenses in the amount of $150,000.
Salary, benefits, and
Salary,
expenses.
benefits, and expenses.
I would keep the 6 months out of it.
Oh,
Because when you start putting
okay.
6 months in it,
Yeah, I retract.
there
6
month be
months.
some,
It
I don't
could-
know.
It could be 5 months, it could be 7 months, who knows?
Yeah, I would keep the 6 months out of it, because then you might restrict us to,
Yep.
because you only can spend it for 6 months or something.
Yep, you're right.
That's a very good point, Glenn, okay.
So, just further discussion, just because I know this question might come up from your committee. Why is this funded from free cash if it's going to be a recurring item? And the answer to that is we have the finance director salary and benefits is already, we're taxing that. So we don't want to double tax it. So starting next fiscal year, July 1st, the finance director will just go away and we'll start taxing the amount for this person.
Which
There
will be
there
more than
will
the
be a, there will be a,
Increase.
no, but there will be a treasurer position though.
Well, we have an assistant treasurer collector. I mean, one option is that they would
It's
just
gonna,
be-
that's the reason why we're doing it, and then next year's budget, which will be FY 2019, will reflect all the changes. But we just don't wanna double tax, we do have the levy capacity, but we don't wanna double tax the people now
Okay.
because we have so much money in free tax. Right?
Yeah.
No?
Yep. Just in case that question comes up. All in favor?
Aye.
Is that all we have so far?
I actually added this today in talking with Andy. Do you have this? In talking with Andy today.
No.
So in the last last number of years, we have had a warrant article to reduce the reduce the tax rate funded from free cash. So we've kind of grandfathered that in. So if we don't keep doing that, we'll in essence have a $144,000 tax increase because we've done it in previous years. So I would advocate we should continue that practice.
Gotcha, okay, I see what you mean.
I don't know, plenty of opinion.
What,
hold
I
on, yeah, you
forget
have
now,
an opinion.
so what was this, how did we come up with this 144?
That's what it was. That's what it was last year.
No, but what was that, what is the
What did that
significance of
mean?
that number?
It was 100,000 for a long time, and then there was some. I don't know if it was the.
Oh,
school.
I think
There was
no,
some
it was
reason
something with the
I
sheet-
added.
no.
You guys wanted to add
I
it.
added
No, because I think it was
44,000
because
for
of an
something.
officer,
Yes,
wasn't it?
yeah.
An officer, and it was gonna take out, so we said if it was in, we wanna take, yeah, it was something like that.
Right. So now it's in the rate.
Okay, now, when we start, we did this because we felt we had too much free cash and we wanted to spend down the
And we-
taxation,
And
and we still do, okay, and I agree with you. But when do we start weaning our way away from this? Or do we ever? Because I don't want to, do we start weaning it away slowly so we don't take a big hit when we can't do it?
Yes, that's when we should do it. So probably
Do it this time and then start weaning away a little bit?
We could, yeah.
What I'm just trying to say, wean it away, do it when we can, but what happens when we can't? Then everybody's hit with that 144, rather than just like next year's do 100, then the next year after that do 75, and the next year over do just weaning our way.
Well, we don't know what our.
Well, yeah, I actually do.
You do?
I have an approximation.
Okay.
So our tax, nothing's finalized because they haven't even started the process. So it could be whatever.
It is what
so
it
this is just a guess.
It is what it is.
We're probably looking at a flat to maybe a penny or two increase in the actual rate. And as far as the average tax bill, it's about 1%. Last year was 0.9%. But another part of doing that, though, is, I mean, our taxes are pretty high if relative to like the 351 cities and towns.
High per thousand.
Our average tax rate is, it was like 40 something if you ranked them. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind getting that down a little bit. I don't want to be in the top 50. I would love to not be in the top 100.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say what you anticipate our free cash is going to be for the.
They have, yeah.
Any idea we can get an approximation of that?
You could talk to Lori, but I think she's just in the very initial stages of doing that.
Okay.
And that will be certified sometime in the fall.
November, usually not till November.
I think it has to be certified prior to town meeting in order to spend. So I think it's October.
Yeah, I always thought it was earlier.
Okay.
Around town meeting, we know. Okay. So yeah.
Well, I would say go with it. Yeah.
So I move to approve placing an article on the warrant in the amount of $144,300 to transfer funds from free cash to reduce the current year tax rate.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. To reduce the current year's tax rate. That should be the headline.
We do that every year. We've done well in the last 3, 4, 5 years.
There's something else I wanted to say
About town meeting?
Yeah. Never mind. Well, yeah. So do we see? Okay, so now we are anticipating putting a new town manager in place. We just put a warrant article because we're going to need to pay that individual. Now, I was going to talk about this in future items, but now we're talking about warrant articles. Do you see the current structure as in personnel changing at all? That we might have to have another warrant article to be able for support staff for this individual or for anything else that might be happening in the building because of this new town manager?
Probably premature. Nothing that I'm aware of.
Okay. I mean, I just want to make sure that we're aware that, you know, because then on future agendas, we all need to start having a discussion about how the organizational chart in this building is going to look like.
Okay.
Sooner than later.
Yep, it's being worked on.
By?
It's being worked on to gather information to bring to the board so we can have a discussion.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Appointments.
So, Mr. Chairman, I took the liberty of calling some of the people that we did not select for the finance director search committee because I thought we had a lot of good applicants and suggested to them that, you know, that's not the only thing to volunteer for, that we have other openings, and they were very receptive to that idea.
They were.
Yes.
That's great.
So namely Doug Sherwood and I think, is it Cindy? Yes, Cindy Salter.
Correct, yes.
So just, that's where they came from. So we've talked to these people, we know who they are. So just.
We have any openings?
Oh, yeah, yeah, and capital improvements is one opening because Brad Busher.
Did you give them the, the openings and ideas, or what happened?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you wanna do?
So, Doug Sherwood was interested in the capital improvements because Brad, the dentist, not Brad Busher, the other guy, he was on that, but now he's on the FinCom, so can't be on capital improvements, so that created an opening for that.
You gonna make a motion to appoint him then?
Well, let's just go through the whole list.
Okay.
Okay, I move to appoint Brad Busher, that's not who I was talking about, to the Open Space Committee to a term ending June 30th, 2020, and Marlene Switzer to the Open Space Committee as an alternate through a term ending June 30th, 2018.
Second.
Excuse me, and Dawn Fusco to the Open Space for a term through June 30th, 2020.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move to appoint Stephen Greason to the River Access Committee for a term ending June 30th, 2018.
So how many people are on the River Access Committee?
3. He's one of them.
Is that defined, or we just?
No, that's just what it is.
That's how many people wanted to be on it.
Tim, it's
Rob.
Goldilocks.
Greenwood.
Barry LaCroix.
It was.
No, it's Rob Phillips,
Rob Phillips.
Steve Greason.
And is it Brad or is
Barry LaCroix.
Is it Barry?
Yeah.
Barry? Okay.
He didn't take his ethics test yet. Okay, so Steve Greason, I move.
Okay.
River Access.
I mean, I just wondered if this committee was sort of defined in terms of numbers and how long the term was and what their charge is, or they just sort of
they're
doing stuff?
I don't know what they're talking about, but they're meeting regularly, and they should give us an update, actually.
Yeah, we went to one of the meetings.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're meeting this week.
Really?
And,
Okay.
and their agenda is quite full.
Yeah. No, they're meeting.
Okay.
Has to do too with Roxville Bridge.
Do you want to call, or I can call them, I don't care, and ask them when, as opposed to saying come in the next couple of meetings,
Tell them
ask
to come in.
when they would be a good point for them to come in.
Give us an update.
Yeah, but let them get to a point where they have an update.
Yep.
So.
You get that, Mary?
So they're 1-year terms, are they?
Yes.
No, but I meant what Joe just
So
said.
we just
Yeah, you're gonna
just
write them in.
Okay.
when would they like to come in and tell us what's up? Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
So so there were 1-year terms, but we have. Okay, and there's just 3 on the committee. It really wasn't defined. It's just
Currently,
3.
there's only 3.
It's 3.
Could be
I
whatever.
think we might have defined it, but whatever.
I'm not sure
so
about
Steve
that.
Greason is moved and seconded.
Yep.
Yes.
And it was all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye. I move to appoint Elise Hendricks to the Register of Voters through June 30th, 2020.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Move to appoint Doug Sherwood to the Capital Improvements Committee. Ooh, is that a 3-year or 1 year? I think it's 3 years.
Second.
I gave you guys all the list.
You need to look at that, Joe, because you're not going to be asleep tonight unless you know.
Okay, hold on. Capital Improvements.
Glenn, I'm glad he's doing that.
Oh my word! You don't want to leave that up to me.
Yeah, they are. They're five at large appointed to rotating 3 years. So through June 3rd, capital improvements through June 30th, 2019.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Move to appoint Doug Sherwood to the Energy Advisory Committee through June 30th.
Oh, good.
So he wants to do that too?
Yep, 2018.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Move to appoint Cindy Salter to the Bicentennial Committee through June 30th, 2018.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. We already
So
got Greg.
we already
We
did Greg,
Judy,
yes.
so move to appoint Catherine Conrad to the Personnel Committee through June 30th, 2018.
Second.
Aye.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Move to appoint Barbara Ware to the Council.
Warren?
What's her name?
Barbara Warren.
Warren, okay, sorry. To the Council on Aging through June 30th, 2020.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Good job, Joe.
Thank you. Well, Mary did all the work.
Come on now. You did it all. You just gave it.
No.
I'm kidding. Good thing we have Mary. Keep us in place. Make a motion to approve.
I haven't had a chance on the minutes.
Okay.
I mean, they are down, they're down by our minutes clerk. There's just a lot of.
Thank you.
Good night.
changes.
If you
Good
need
night.
us, tell us, call us, whatever.
And it's just from her being new and learning who we are so I really just need some time without being interrupted in the office.
We don't have these yet. She's trying to say.
I know. I'm already on the invoice form.
Okay, go.
I'm
Go.
ready.
Go.
I didn't want to interrupt her. I'm just waiting for her to go.
Okay, go ahead.
Make a motion to accept the invoice warrants.
Second. Did we have any questions?
I of course did.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll go there. I'll go.
Is the door locked?
You go to any? I know you go to preseason. Go to any games during the year?
No, it's the last couple of years. It's been a little bit of a struggle to physically get in and out.
Do they give you any breaks on tickets?
Well, I get them for free from work.
You do?
Yeah.
You don't get them free from work?
I don't get nothing for free from work.
They're
What I got free from?
They
You know what I
can't
got?
name your boss.
You know what I got? You know what I got free from work today? I got free that I was able to wake up at 3:30 this morning and drive from Maine to work, and I've been up ever since. Can't believe how many people are up at that time.
Yeah, but the benefit that you have is you were able to stop what you're doing and go out and see the eclipse.
You are.
I didn't do
I
that.
actually no, and I had the ability to be driving around the town because I was actually talking to John Sarkis. I'm like driving by his street and he stopped and he's driving his kids somewhere. He goes, "You coming to my house?" He goes, "Hey Glenn, what's up? Are you coming?" I go, "No, I'm just driving around town." He goes, "Well, okay." I was just down the River Road looking at the sign, I do that every once in a while, just drive around. I was up, a perfect spot was up on Pipe Stave for the eclipse. Didn't have glasses. I had my Ray-Bans on. I had my sunglasses on, then another pair of sunglasses on. Then I was down at the Tucket when I was down there looking at those signs, and there was some people in the field. And then I had made my own, poked a thing in the hole, and I'm out the window trying to look at it.
What are you gonna do next week when you can't see?
I don't know. They say emergency rooms were prepped for people who came in with eye-related problems. I don't know.
It doesn't happen right away. It takes a little
They did say that. I watched though when then I came home. Then my wife came home from work, and I think it was Anderson Cooper, and CNN was doing a live thing. Carnival Cruises went out, and they got on the boat that morning, and they used all 6 engines, steam in the exact spot in the ocean where it was going to be one of those totality things. And the guy's there talking, and all of a sudden, you couldn't see him. And then all of a sudden, a minute later, there he was. It looked pretty cool.
Okay, my comment.
I'm just trying to, I'm like one of those comedians, I'm just trying to do the dead space.
Vamping.
What is it?
Vamping.
Vamping?
Vamping. It's when you're making stuff up to kill time.
I thought you were vaping or something.
Here's the
I don't know what
picture.
you're doing over there. Oh, that's cool. You took that?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say send that to me. Okay, so what's up?
Okay, my usual comment, I wish the West Newbury Cultural Council use some of the money for stuff that actually takes place in West Newbury. Jen,
We
I
did see
noticed
the
that some money did go to the Pentucket Arts Foundation, but a lot of the other stuff went to out-of-town things, such as
And we didn't
the
get
Mass
our-
Audubon Society.
And you didn't get your full
I don't quite know
request?
how that fits in with their charge, but.
Yeah, what is their thing? I saw you had already looked at it before I looked at it, and I was looking at that.
We typically get the full request from the other two towns, but West Newbury not always.
Why?
I mean, I think there's value in supporting other towns.
I
Like,
agree.
For art stuff, we'll go to that, right? But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
weird- It's a little weird to me that the people who are applying in town don't get, I don't know, you have to bring them in and talk to them, because I'm maybe a disgruntled person.
No, but I would agree with that. It is important to support other towns, just like when people say, oh, we don't like those New Hampshire people coming through our roads or something. I mean, that's, yeah.
Mill Pond, whatever,
Yeah, but you should fill the, unless your request was ludicrous, was it?
The other two towns were able to match it, so I don't feel it. We never asked for more than $500.
They gave some money out there.
What's that? Oh, that's that.
That's my question?
No, where's my stickies?
I didn't touch
Took off my stickies.
No, I didn't.
No, you came in third.
You were third.
Yeah, 'cause
Oh,
you came
okay.
in, I saw your car here on Saturday
Oh,
afternoon.
okay, I wrote that one too, but that's payroll. So, other than the comment, invoices, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to accept the payroll warrants,
Second.
discussion. I just simply asked a question about how we know, the summer recreation program, the director and assistant director were getting paid as a lump sum, so we broke it up so that it, into bi-weekly, amounts, but do we know what the, where it is total-wise? That was my question. In other words.
My question was, even though I'm not gonna vote on this, I just didn't understand, if we could, it just seemed weird to me on EMA. It was
111.
one hour, it was just like.
I don't know what she does, so can't
This,
answer.
yeah, no, is that mine? Don't
Yeah,
understand,
that's
oh,
you.
what does that say over there?
I emailed Leanne waiting for response.
Thank you. Oh,
Oh, that's Lori? Okay,
yeah,
good.
good. I was just curious, it's just weird that, when I see that, I said, oh, something happened in town that the EMA had to be activated?
That's been like
activated?
that for
It's been like that for a long time.
ever. That's how she's done it.
Okay. But we have to be accountable for it, so.
We are, yeah.
Did you leave that note for the summer recreation for Lori?
Yeah, you didn't get a friendly thing like I got one?
I can, let her.
No, it says final payment, so it's.
Oh, it does.
Oh, that's the answer. Okay.
That's the answer, yes.
Okay, good.
Okay, so that's okay.
Okay, so
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Ooh,
You abstained,
abstained.
right?
sorry.
Future agenda?
Joe, you have anything?
Yeah. I'd like to have a discussion about an aspect of our personnel policy for the potential of hosting a future public hearing regarding the personnel policy aspect,
Okay. When would you like that?
September 5th.
Okay, I would be in agreement with that. Something I oh, I'm sorry, are you done?
Yes, I am.
Something I touched on, again, I don't mean to keep on belaboring this point, but I brought it up before too, that I know the process hasn't even started yet, but it's gonna come sooner than later. We're gonna have a new town manager, okay? We should look at both personnel, structural-wise, like an org chart, making sure, we kept on talking about personnel, we might wanna switch people around, make them more efficient, make them more effective, more time management and so forth. And I don't know what we're thinking about if there's going to be any structural changes to this building because of that. But if there is, we need to start coming up with some ideas and plans and moving forward with that. So we have to have a discussion at some point. You could put that on maybe.
So we put out a memo to Mike, myself, and Susan Yeames to come up with bullet points, so I don't know And those reports are supposed to be in next week.
Yep. So can we do one maybe the last meeting in September, Joe? You think that would be good?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, why don't we do that? Schedule it for the 18th.
For the 18th?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Do we have the bicentennial committee, are they next time or the time after?
Now
Let them.
Mary, what, I know I asked you about the bicentennial people. What did they say the last time you talked to them?
As far as where they're at and
Yeah,
as an
what,
update.
Did they want to come in and talk to us?
They're still reviewing they got a lot of feedback from the departments and committees and so forth, so they're putting things together. Don't they have a meeting tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow.
So I
members
can
and
touch base with them to see when they're ready
Ask her
to.
if they get it all organized, if they could come in, the first meeting in October?
Well,
Or,
at the latest.
No,
Sooner.
sooner than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they should come in, if they're meeting tomorrow. What's
September
wrong with-
5th?
Yeah.
September 5th,
Let's
we
see
can
what some of
definitely.
the ideas are.
Well, ask them September 5th, and if they can't make that meeting, the latest, the
The
18th.
18th.
Whatever that
18th,
means, 18th. Because now they have the new members too, that.
Their committee just multiplied.
Yes.
Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Do you anything?
No, it's good.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.